from your perspective, what should be considered as a conflict and what should not be considered as a conflict between interactions between members?
What I have in mind when I think about conflict is whenever, as a leader, I need to manage people and manage the interaction between people rather than us focusing on the goal, it means that something it's wrong there's some kind of conflict, right? So whenever I'm shifting my focus from the goal to not offending someone. Let me see how do I explain this to Madalina so I don't offend her. Let me see how do I explain to Madalina that she needs to work with Florin and I don't offend Florin. Or let me see how can I, now we're not able to take these new clients because I know Madalina and Florin, do not get along together. So that's when my focus as a leader shifts from the goal and us as a team, creating the results that we want, and me thinking about how do I manage this meeting, right? So instead of us focusing on the goal, we start to focus on how do we navigate this without stepping on people's toes, right? And this comes from the fact that some people are unaware that they might be offending others, and some other people might be too sensitive to any kind of comments and take those things personally. And this is again the diversity of personalities on the team, right? And I think that there's another aspect that I want to touch on there is whenever we're looking at, so instead of us challenging the result, so for example, we've done something in a certain way, we got a result, right? And now the team starts to challenge, okay, so how can we do that better, right? So instead of us focusing on that kind of friction that we need in the team to improve a result, we start then taking that personally. And instead of saying, okay, Florin, I think we can improve that result, we'll say, Florin, that idea of yours didn't really work. So let me share with you what we could do differently, right? So that becomes personal rather than being focused on how can we do this, right? And if someone is always challenging whatever other people are doing, then that person might be perceived, well, okay, so you're always challenging what we're doing. Like now, it's the time for you to show what you're doing. So that becomes the kind of interaction we don't want to have in the team. So whenever we cross that boundary from focusing on the results and we start focusing on managing the conversation and managing relationships, that starts leaking energy for us, as a team, and it becomes dangerous. It's not helping the team anymore.